Guys, Xmen97 is one of my favorite shows that I've watched in recent years, and I think if you haven't checked it out, then you really need to because it is such a good jumping on point. Having the show start with Professor X's death is a really, really good starting point because it makes the team have to act on their own, while Professor X is normally like that key figure that kind of tells them what to do and how they should act. Now it's Cyclops, and Cyclops always gets a lack of attention in the movies, and it's normally replaced by Wolverine since that's a lot more of a popular character. But here Cyclops is on full scale. He's awesome. He's using his lasers to slide around, and he's a really good leader. He has to battle his angst with having a new son, with Rogue and Rogue being cloned. The show throws a lot of really obscure ideas that make the movies look really pathetic on how they repeat the same ideas of the Phoenix arc over and over again. The show doesn't even really mention that a whole lot. Instead, it's throwing these really obscure and fun ideas at us, like Genosha or like Mr. Sinister. These are really faithful, and even though I'm not super into the comics, you can just tell that these are really faithful ideas for the show to follow. And it's a lot more interesting to see these X-Men in different battles. And these episodes are only like 20 minutes long, so the amount of ideas that are being thrown at you while still feeling faithful and not getting lost or feeling like it's too much is an insane feat. Episode 7 through 10 is probably one of my favorite pieces of animation I've ever seen. I really do love how the Genosha attack comes out of nowhere when the show sets up this more comfortable feeling of how everything's just okay, and then that all goes away as soon as Cable shows up and tells them to watch out, and then they get attacked and Gambit dies, but not before one of the coolest fights ever. And I think that the showrunners just really understand how to make the X-Men fight. They use combo attacks, they fight together, they're never nerfed, though every single member is super overpowered, and they're put up against enemies who just have to try to outsmart them, but still they conquer by being a team. Jubilee is definitely the weakest part about season 1, and we needed a character to be the fish out of water like Wolverine is in the movies. So if you were new to this concept of the X-Men, then it kind of gives you somebody to learn with, but she doesn't really have too much shine, I guess, compared to the other X-Men. But in season 2, that's instantly fixed. In the second episode, she is way more important, and she's already helping out and freeing people with a lot more humanity than Cable, and that actually gives her a place to be in the show besides being some fish out of water supporting character that just kind of follows everybody else around. Also, since most of the X-Men are either in the past or the future in season 2, it gives Jubilee and I'm forgetting his name, but the fire dude that she's in love with, a lot more place, I guess, because they're one of the only original X-Men, and so they kind of are the only people left with those original principles, and they actually have a cute dynamic. The animation is also super fluid and dynamic. It's always moving, and it supports these combo attacks by having all of our characters have such visually different powers. Like, you can't tell me you watch a scene right here and you just don't think it's one of the coolest things ever. I genuinely think if you haven't watched the show, you should check it out. Season 2 just started, and season 2 has a bigger premise, I guess, and it's definitely a lot more exciting than the first couple of episodes of season 1 so far. Not to knock season 1, but very, very excited to see where the show goes.